Here is one simple framework that's going to help you move through your weeks with more energy, optimize so you can get more work done in less time, and ultimately feel a hell of a lot better. I'm Kieran. I'm a mental performance consultant for business owners and execs that are looking to make more money with less time, less stress, and actually enjoy the business through mental performance coaching. So let's dive right in. Structure equals freedom. And when you don't have a structure and you're just winging your day to day, you're going to have a really, really tough time. A really tough time. Because the decisions that you make, the tasks that you're doing to move the needle forward are all just being winged. And by putting a little bit of structure around the way in which you operate your days and your weeks, you're going to get a hell of a lot more done. So this is a spreadsheet. It's totally free. If you click on the link in the description, you can make a copy. But here are 7 steps to get started. So number 1 is identify your peak performance hours. So what does that actually mean? Well, putting them into 2 categories. When is the best time to speak to people? And when is the best time for deep work? And the trigger question for that is, when would you write an essay? When would you have a coffee with someone? When would you go for a meeting? And write down the specific times that is. If you're a morning person, then write them down for the early morning. If not, then write them in the afternoon. But just get very clear on those times. And then you need to start assigning your peak performance hours. So once you've done that, then it's about putting the high ROI tasks, when to speak to people, when to do your deep work. And it's about building your life and your weekly design around that. Next step is to design your weekly time blocks and your daily themes. So I'm a night owl. I work very late at night and I don't wake up until later in the morning. That's how I've worked. That's how I've always worked, and it's usually the best. So I have 5 blocks. You might have less. You might have more. But for me, my working day really starts at about 9 a.m. So that is the block there. My next block is 1 until 3, 4 until 8, 8 until 10, and then 8 to about half 12 at night. 10 till about half 12 at night. So once I've built my blocks, then it's looking at themes. Some of you might have some themes, some of you won't. If you don't have a theme, don't worry. But here's how I'm set up. So Mondays and Fridays are my creative days. Creative to shoot and guest on podcasts, to make videos just like this, to look at different strategies, to think about different thinking for my clients, to learn, to study, to grow. Then I have one-to-ones. Now, one-to-ones might be clients, they might be new business, they might be partnerships. And I do those always in the afternoons because I know that that's the best time in which I get work done. And then my deep work, being a night owl, is always done at these times. Then I have Saturdays completely off, and then Sundays are either rest or they are creative work. So once you've designed your time blocks and your daily themes, the next is to identify your highest leverage tasks and opportunities. So for me, it's one-to-ones with my clients, one-to-ones with new potential clients, and building partnerships. So that comes under that. Creative looks like writing podcasts or speaking or going out and getting on different stages. Deep work is planning and strategy. Morning flow is training, breakfast, do some reading, get all the other family and life stuff out of the way. Evening flow, training, if I am training in the evenings, or a little bit more reading, walk, take the dog out, family time, wind down. And then rest. That might be downtime, family time, getting a massage. And then I have my king day. So my king day is the afternoon on the Wednesday where I spend it just alone. Just a few hours just for me. So once you've identified your highest leverage tasks and activities, then you've got to block them into your week. So as you can see, Monday's a creative day, so I set it up that way. I'm able to work in quite a blocky fashion, and that works quite well for me. And then what you need to do after this is go into your Outlook or your Google Calendar and just reflect your new way of working. It's not going to happen straight away. There's going to be a couple of weeks where you've got to move some meetings or you've got to work with your current structure while you set up into your next one. But what you'll find is you're able to get into a flow a hell of a lot faster, quicker, and more easily. Here's an example for one of my clients. So he's in his 40s. He's in the capital lending business. He's a serial winner. He has won again and again and again and again, but he felt like he'd hit a plateau in his career and he needed a change agent. So he brought me in to understand his neurology, understand how his brain works, to find his strengths and help him design a bigger game. And we've already taken his income from 150K to 600K within the first 12 months, and we're doing that on quarterly coaching sprints. So how we've set him up, super simple, super simple. His morning flow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. So that's waking up, breakfast, kids to school, working out, getting that all done, into the office. Then it's looking at his existing client book and seeing is there any more business in there. Then we've got his deep work, which is market updates, product knowledge, looking at any changes and proposals. And then we've got new business, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. He's then looking at new opportunities that you can speak to. Evening flow, commute, kids, dinner, downtime. And because he's super clear, he doesn't have to spend any time thinking on what do I need to do. We've also identified that that afternoon break works really well for his focus, so he can actually sit down and focus on the things that he needs to do. So here's what you need to do. Make a copy of this spreadsheet, get in your own blocks, get in your own times, figure it all out, put it into your spreadsheets, put it into your Outlook, and just run it. And you got to be a little ruthless at times. You got to have hard conversations with people that want to take meetings during your deep work time. Where possible, you got to block that out. You got to work within your time zones, whether that's in the morning, in the afternoon. Now with family, with kids, with other responsibilities, it's not always so easy. But even carving out the occasional pockets of deep work where it works best for you is going to make a huge, huge difference. So if you found that helpful, please do like and subscribe to the channel. And if there's anyone else that you think could use this, please do hit share. Love and strength. Till next time.